Okay, it should be going again. Sorry about that, YouTubers. I don't know what happened. Was that the inspiration for the sequence when Peppermint Butler does a spell on Peacemaster? No. That scene was inspired by an anime called Bobby's Dream. It was a sequence that with a guy riding a motorcycle, and now I'm afraid to show it because I feel like I'm gonna get cut off on YouTube. I think maybe me play. I don't know, because I'm playing music from YouTube right now, and it's fine. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Bobby's. I think it's called Bobby's Dream. Bobby's Dream anime. It should be in my... If I go to my favorites. Playlists. Oops. Yeah, here it is. I'll show you. If my anime... Bobby's Girl. It's called Bobby's Girl. But I'll show you the sequence that influenced that scene from Adventure Time. Make sure my live stream's still going.
I seem naked. I seem nude.
Yeah. So Bobby's Girl influenced that scene from Adventure Time. But obviously I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything nearly as good because we were working with like a, you know, crap it out animation studios. But I tried. And also back then I didn't know how to animate. So I mean, but no way I could do something this like that like masterful anyway. But I remember, I think Dash Shaw showed me that clip. And at that time I was like, I thought it would be cool to do something similar to show sort of Peppermint Butler astral traveling to go attack Peacemaster. In that way, in the same way that that guy was riding the motorcycle. Okay, back to this. Yeah, Animation Pals was on my playlist. It was a good that was a good web series. Alright, I'm gonna make a second BG. BG2, so I can kind of like mess around without messing up these drawings. Hmm. Maybe I'll make this like a dungeon door kind of thing. Sort of deadbolt thing. I guess you shouldn't be able to see inside. This should be like a one-way. Let's see. And then I need some sort of handle. It's a little bit low. Let's move all this up. There. Okay. So we'll make this whole place dungeony. Whoops, that doesn't look great, but okay. Anyways, just placeholders. Just a rough idea. Dungeon in the dungeon. Hey, bro skits. What's up, pupper? Okay. I don't know what's happening with Monday right now. I don't know where he is, but we're just gonna imagine a scenario where this is going on. He's lived a long time, so anywhere in his life this could have been happening. Okay. And then oh, hey, Pen Ward, what's up, man? Thanks for the raid. Yo, what's up? What's up? Yo, what's up, Pen? I'm trying to storyboard a sequence where. Hey, what's up? Thank you for the follow. I'm trying to storyboard a sequence where this character Monday is scrying into a. Oh, hey. Thank you for the subscription. He's. Ah, thank you for the follow. What am I trying to say? Ah, thank you for the follow. Hey. Getting close to my 20 subs. What's up, M4N Neville 358? Anyway, I'm trying to storyboard this sequence where he's going to be talking to a demon in his obsidian ball here. Oh yeah, and oh yeah, that's Pen's voice that I cribbed from my short film Jesus 2 that Pen did the voice on. I hope he doesn't mind. The voice of Brobot. Anyway, so this character Monday is gonna look into the void here, and then everything's gonna disappear, and so we're gonna have two different shots. Let's see. This one, and then I erase all this stuff. And then there's gonna be like some crazy Some crazy planet. Can't you see how crazy it is? Some crazy planet. I'm gonna make it crazy. Let's see. Land. I think it would be what my imagination of Venus's surface would look like. So I'll figure that out when I do it in Photoshop, but deep clouds. Deep, beautiful clouds. What does it mean to call in on top of your screen? Oh, if you join my Discord, there's a call-in channel you can jump on and talk to me on stream if you want. But you have to be approved in the Discord to join the channel, because I gotta vet my callers to prevent troublemakers. Yeah, I recently saw those Venus pictures, and this isn't really what it looks like, but I can take artistic license. It's more just like, seems like Venus's surface is more just like super compressed, cracked Earth or something. So something like that. So it'll toggle between these two environments. Yeah, I've had people troll me on YouTube. So, do I recommend any free software? What programs do I use to make an animation? I'm currently using Blender. Well, the program I'm using right now, the storyboard, is Storyboard Pro, which costs money, but Blender is free, and I've been animating in Blender. Blender takes a little bit of time to learn, but it is doable. I recommend Blender because it's free. Yeah. Okay, and then we're gonna do, and all this has to end up in the Animation Plus bumper at the end. So I have to figure that out. I have to figure my way to there, to that punchline. Yeah, so some random chatters, yeah, kept coming in here and harassing me to play Korn, to listen to Korn. Yeah, it was really, really difficult. Okay. Okay, so I need a close-up of Monday, looking into the ball. Really need to have Candlelight flickering in his eyeballs. I have a one mod sometimes, Bubblegum. I don't know if Bubblegum's here. I don't think my channel is like big enough to really have a mod that would show up every time, you know? It's more like I just gotta take care of it, I think. Unless I'm mistaken. Unless you're, unless you think I could have mods. Bubblegum is my mod on my Discord. You think I should get more personally? Oh, Beekeep's here. Beekeep was my #1 mod, but he retired from the life. So what you know, I'm not super smart about this kind of stuff. So what would a mod do besides kick people that are being rude on the This is not looking right. Let me try to draw it smaller and I'll try to draw it smaller and then I'll zoom in. Okay. Yeah, I probably need that because I don't have the I can ban people sometimes, but yeah, I'm not always like on top of it. But for like a call-in show, I haven't figured out the you know, the technical way to do it with a like a delay and stuff like that, so that I could have a like a phone line. I had a phone line at first, but it really didn't work out for me. So I could have call-in people. But people can call in on the Discord if they're members of the Discord, which is like the safe way to play it. Alright, so I want his expression to be more mysterious. If you need any info on anything Twitch related, I'm always willing to provide that sort of stuff. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks, Ox Machina. Alex Neal. Hey, Jesse. Got any more underrated comic recommendations? I'm still looking for Dungeon Quest, but the aftermarket is real dick mongrel. What that means. Besides Dungeon Quest, I mean, there's lots of good comics. I don't know. In the Dungeon Quest vein, yeah, Prison Pit's good. I've been reading Berserk, but I haven't read it. I haven't. I think the last volume I've read was like volume 4 or 5. I like Sammy Harkham's Blood of the Virgin series. Okay, if you like Prison Pit. I'm trying to think of something else to recommend you. I mean, Berserk. Probably if you like Prison Pit. (1 p.m. PST on Wednesday). Jesus Christ. Sure. Okay. Let's see. Drifting Classroom. I saw the Drifting Classroom movie. It's like a Drifting Classroom live action movie I saw a long time. All right. So finally watched Over the Garden Wall for the first time. Yeah, it's a really beautiful cartoon. Classic. It's a holiday classic at this point. Alright, so I can zoom this up a little bit here. So his mouth will be closed at first. Alright, and then we'll have a panel of the crystal ball. Or obsidian ball. Really excited to see Hoppers. If you feel like it might surpass Up as your favorite Pixar animation. I don't know what Hoppers is. Is Hoppers the movie about the girl that can see into, like, basically avatars into an animal's body? Is that what that is? Okay. I saw a trailer for that when I went and saw Arco in the theater. I thought the fur looked really nice on the animals. It looked like really like clumpy and fluffy, if that makes sense. Oh, they mentioned Avatar in the trailer? Okay. Yeah, I couldn't really get a read on it as a film. It just looked like, it looked better than Goat. That's all I could really say about it. Alright, is it Goat or The Goat? Looked better than The Goat. Alright, so we got this thing, we got this thing. And then, okay. Ox Machina says, I hope you don't mind me asking, how long have you been animating for? What got you started on your animating journey? Well, I was drawing comics in my teens and 20s. And then I think when I was like 30 years old, I got hired on Adventure Time. And that was just as a storyboard artist, so I didn't know how to animate. And I was just a storyboard artist. I never animated until probably about... I started doing animation exercises probably about a little bit here and there, probably about 5 years ago. And I did a bunch of exercises from the Richard Williams book, Animation Survival Kit, and then this past 2025, I started doing Alex Griggs' animation course, and I've done about half of it probably, and his course is like $150, and it's really good. A lot of the similar fundamental principles, but he puts them together in like visual exercises that are easy to follow. Oh, you're doing Alex Griggs' class. That's awesome. I think his class is really good. and it was good for me as a beginning animator. And then I've just watched some of Richard Williams' lectures on lip sync on YouTube. And I watched James Baxter's lecture, Titmouse lecture on lip sync. And that's pretty much it. That's like, you know, and I'm an okay animator. I can animate about as well as your average YouTube animator. You know, I'm not good, but I can get the job done when it comes to making like situational comedy animation. Yeah, but I'm more of a storyboarder and more of a more my skills are more in storyboarding and design, but I've been trying to get better and better at animating. Yeah, I kind of, you know, when it comes to online courses, I always have a hard time finishing them. I kind of get about halfway to 3/4 of the way through, and then I forget to keep going. It's the same way with me when I download jujitsu instructionals. I watch like a quarter of it. But vestibule. You've been seeing the word vestibule. I know people have that with the number 33, I think. You just started your animating journey. Yeah, I think it's Alex Grigg is a great place to start. I mean, you know, it's just circles and lines and dots and moving them around and triangles and waves. So that's a great place to start. So we'll do a little bit of animating here. Yeah, man, you haven't used a oh, I drew the eyes on the wrong. Will there be any extra features and materials for the new forming collection? Yes. I drew probably like two or no, maybe close to four. I think close to 4 extra pages that aren't in the webcomic. I changed a bunch of stuff, like I fixed some continuity errors so that there'd be more elegant continuity between some of the character arcs. And take it easy, broskits. And then I added some extra charts and color theory grids and things to add sort of like depth to the reading. And what else? I made a final character chart. So there's a bunch of things like that, and then yeah. So yes, the answer is yes. I thought about having a whole annotated like notes section, but I decided to let the book kind of stand on its own merits and not comment on it. and not treat it like, you know, one of those Marvel omnibus kind of books where they collect everything and all the extra like cover art and all that kind of stuff. I just wanted to put it all together as if it was a singular book. It's divided up in 3 chapters, but it's treated as if the whole thing was just a single book. Um, good. Oops. What the fuck? One more. 7. Might be always like 2 frames. Make these 3 frames for now. This one can be a second long. Let's see. All right, that doesn't look great. Good enough. Hey, Ninetales. Anywhere an introduction for it? No. I didn't want to do any introductions or any about the author statements or anything like that. Just like have the book be what it is. I think either someone will pick it up, and if they flip through it, they'll know what they're getting into. I don't need some other author to like validate it. At least on the book itself. I think I'll get someone to say something on Amazon or the Amazon book marketplace or whatever about it. If that makes sense. I think that's more the kind of thing, because you can't flip through it. And we're gonna go to the pupils will get smaller or bigger. Kind of move the head a little bit. Oops. Something. So furrow a little bit. Take it easy, Ox Machina. Well, I don't think Joe Daly was drawing maps just yet. All right, so then I'm gonna go back to the crystal ball. And then we got to go from this to think about this. It's like a Archon thing. Maybe it won't be an Archon. Maybe it will be a just like a regular etheric demon entity that I can create on the fly. Yeah, I think I'd rather do that than spirit, some spirit, unknown spirit. Do I have a favorite Pokemon? Arcorn. Alright, let's draw the Archon here. I mean the demon. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna draw him over here. Do I have a favorite Pokemon? I mean, I don't. Let's look at them real quick. Pokemon. Pokemon monsters. Collection. Pokemon list. The Pokédex. There's so many, right? Let's have a look. This is let's have a look here. I'm just gonna go with whatever hits me first as like good design. So far Squirtle is winning. All right, I'm gonna say Venonat is is winning now. So Venonat. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Let me look at Venonat again. Okay. Um. All right, Tangela. That's the new winner. Oh, Mr. Mime. I'd say Mr. Mime is more my style, probably. So I'm gonna say Mr. Mime is winning now. And Snorlax is pretty classic, from my understanding. But Mr. Mime is still winning. Slowpoke? Mr. Mime. Sentret is pretty nice. Ooh, Natu. That's a pretty nice. That's a pretty nice design there. Xatu. I'm gonna say Natu is winning right now, just with the almond eyes. You know, I love those almond eyes. Murkrow is pretty nice. Ooh, Miss Drevis is pretty cool. Mm. Gligar is cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, pretty much it's crazy like how many characters there are, and there must be some sort of like design principles they're working with. I mean, these two are very different, but so many of the designs are pretty solid, you know? Pretty appealing. I will say that about Pokemon. I could do without that kind of shit, but this is great. Beautifly, that's awesome. Pepper, it's a pretty nice design. This is pretty lazy. Slackoth. But I mean, they're hitting at like, you know, I would say like 75%, like really nice, appealing designs. Meditite, this is really nice. This is great. Cool design, bro. Should I just talk about the ones I don't like? There's so many that are good. It's almost easier to talk about the ones that are not good. This isn't. This is bullshit. That's kind of bullshit. This one's cool. Lunatone, that's cool. Claydol, that's cool. Yeah, all these guys are pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. These are cool Pokemons. Chimicho's cool. This one looks like a Mad Ball. If you remember Mad Balls from the 80s. These are cool. These would look good in like a Final Fantasy. Yeah, these rock guys are cool. Some of these look like they were designed by Tom Herpig. This is like me being an art critic and just saying, that's really good. You know what? Oh, that design was very good. If you ever saw that, listen to that Comedy Bang Bang or whatever. This drawing is quite good. What else do you have to say about it? I don't know. It's pretty good. I like it. Honchkrow. It's a nice one. That's nice. Alright, when am I gonna stop? This is fucking bullshit. This one sucks. Chatot? Chatot? That sucks. Maybe there's a better drawing of it somewhere, but... the ones that look like Tom Herpig drawings, let me see. I saw a couple that looked like Tom Herpig drawings. Let's see. Well, I don't want to go backwards. If I see more that look like Tom Herpig drawings, I'll let you know. This one kind of looks like Luxray. Looks kind of, his expression kind of looks like a Tom Herpig drawing. Oh yeah, I've already been here. All right, I'm gonna do one more page. Oh, that's a nice Gliscor. That's a cool design. Amoswine, that's nice. I like that one too. Maybe Tom Herpig was influenced by Pokemon. On some level. I know he played Magic the Gathering. Gallade, that kind of looks like a Tom Herpig drawing. Maybe he would be insulted by that. I don't know. Find the Tom Herpich drawing. This one for sure. Arceus? Looks like something Tom Herpich would come up with. Alright. That's my thoughts on Pokemon. I don't know. I don't have a favorite Pokemon. There's too many. There's too many good ones. There's lots of really nice Pokemon designs, to be honest. Hundreds. I don't know what their powers are, so that part doesn't influence me, you know? Like Jigglypuff and all that stuff. I don't know what Jigglypuff does. I don't know what Beetle does. I think I've seen Blastoise. He shoots shit out of his gun things. Squirtle does something with water, right? I think. Arceus is Pokegod. Okay. Well, you know, I didn't latch on to Pokemon. So, I don't know much about Pokemon. Except I know the voice of Ash Ketchum. The current voice of Ash Ketchum is... I guess you could say she's a friend of mine. We know each other. We've hung out a few times. I think it's weird that Herpich, from what I hear, I haven't hung out with him in a while, but I heard that Herpich is working on a comic currently. And I do hear that he is going to be doing a major, very large, major, like YA comic very soon, and he's ramping up to doing it. And yep, that's all I'll say about that, because I don't want to blow up his spot, but I know he's working on a big comic. Oh, you hung out with Sarah, not a Chenny. Cool. Yeah, Sarah did a voice for Jesus too, so we've hung out. We went to Sundance together, or we met up at Sundance. Yeah, but I'm gonna get her to do some voices for me again soon. But let's figure out this demon. So the demon has to have a big mouth. Because I think maybe he can reach into his own something. We gotta figure out the mechanics of this. Someone's having a real out-of-tune jam session. Okay, I think I have an idea. So it'll be like a soft Soft Star. Maybe I want to put fat lips. Maybe it'll be real thin lips. I mean, he's looking like kind of like that comic book character Concrete. So I'll do something different, but oh, hey Blake. Oh, you hung. Oh, right. Okay, Blake hung out with Sarah at Comic-Con. That makes sense. Did I see Sarah at Comic-Con? Maybe. I was only at Comic-Con for a day and a half, so I probably... No, I didn't see Sarah at Comic-Con. I don't think. Maybe if he's like, instead of being like really defined, he was more like waves. Oops. Hey. I always like drawing these sort of like flower petal kind of shapes. I tried back on Midnight Gospel, I tried to have this like idea of these like organic flower petal shapes emerging out of buildings, but then someone said why would that be happening, and I couldn't explain it, so I didn't do it. But I do it in my personal work. Let's make these like symmetrical here. No, I didn't go any hotel room party. I just hung out in the backyard of that Adult Swim thing that was going on, and then And then I showed the pilot I made for Cartoon Network at a what do you call it? One of the convention exhibition halls, and then got breakfast with some Cartoon Network people and went back to LA. I don't know. I never know what to do when I'm at Comic-Con. Like it's so much. Unless I'm doing something specific. I don't really know how to like have fun there. I went to like a board game thing, like the Titmouse guys were, or at least Chris Pronowski went to this like board game meetup kind of thing, but I didn't know anyone there. I just had a beer and I'm just a fuddy-duddy. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, how do you... I need someone to, like, show me how to enjoy my life. I've lost the ability to know how to have fun. I need a party coach. Something like this. That seems alright. So this guy's gonna appear in the crystal ball. Somehow. And probably shrink down, the eyes will shrink down and match him inside here, or whatever this entity is. It. This entity. Okay. So I'm gonna have to in between that, but then and then oh he had the meta glasses on, so he was filming you for the CIA. You never bring a list of comics you want when you go to Comic-Con? No. I rarely buy comics. So when I do, I just like go down to secret headquarters in Atwater Village and just like, you know, snipe it when I want a comic. There's nothing I can get at Comic-Con that I can't get, you know, just normally through regular channels. The only thing I can't get is if there was an artist at Comic-Con that I wanted to get a sketch from, you know. So I remember there were times when I've gone to Comic-Con thinking, oh, I'll go get a sketch from what's his name? Samurai Cowboy. That guy. Why am I blanking on his name? Yeah, Jeff Darrow. Yeah, it would be pretty sick to have a drawing from Jeff Darrow. And I heard he used to do them for pretty cheap. But then I saw him drawing. I was at Comic-Con, I saw Jeff Darrow drawing, and he was drawing with Sharpie pens, and that like really turned me off. It's a weird thing to say. But I was like, I don't think I want a drawing from Jeff Darrow anymore. I didn't realize he drew with Sharpies. It's such a weird response for me to have, but it's real. I just didn't. I don't know. I think his stuff looks really great reproduced in print, but maybe doesn't look as good like in real life. I mean, no shade to Jeff Darrow. He's like a master, you know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Jeff Darrow is one of the guys I was like, I really wanted to get a sketch from at Comic-Con, and also Arthur Adams, because I knew Arthur Adams still does Comic-Con, I think. And he was a childhood hero of mine, for sure. Just one of the greats. Asgard Wars, one of the great, most amazingly rendered Marvel comics. He's sort of like, I've heard he's like, you know, well, he also like, I think charges a lot more, and I don't know, something about that. I was like, do I really want a drawing from Arthur Adams? I don't know, you know. And the only other thing I could ever want would be an original, Jack Kirby, and they always have those at Comic-Con, but those go for like $10,000, so I can't afford that. So there goes Artist Alley for me, because who the fuck else, you know, do I want to get an original drawing from it? Comic-Con Artist Alley, like, it's pretty much, it's like Arthur Adams, Jeff Darrow, if Simon Beasley was there, I would get something from him. You know, I'm not. I walk through Artist Alley and I look around and it's fucking trash. A bunch of trash. I'd rather hang out at No, I never read Hellboy on Hell. Mike Mignola, I think he's really talented, but I wouldn't care about having an original Mike Mignola. It's not something I ever really gravitated towards. But I respect him, you know. I'm not super attracted to his work. Artist Alley is just like a bunch of people, you know, of like moderate fame drawing like fan art. And stuff in genres that I don't care about for the most part. YA kind of stuff, you know? Or like real gaudy superhero kind of stuff. Not interesting. I watched the whole thing. I used to follow this YouTuber who like he would post like he make YouTube videos about how to make money at artist alleys and stuff like that. He still does. And I went down the whole rabbit hole with him. Like I watched probably like 5 videos, like hour-long videos of him breaking down how much money he makes at artist alleys. I don't know why I got so interested in it, in that culture of artist alleys. It's an interesting world. But if you're like a decently known, you know, sort of fantasy artist, you can make a decent living doing artist alleys, I guess. Take it easy, BuzzTunes. Okay, so we got this. We got this. We gotta do an in-between. I mean, I gotta do a couple in-betweens, but... I'm just gonna grab him. Do another layer here. Oops. I think there's a... Is there a perspective tool? Perspective. Hey. So around here. A little bigger. Actually. Oops. Let's do another panel here, and then I'll do this one bigger. Hey, Monkey Moods. This is for a bumper for Animation Plus with Jesus 2 characters in it. Adam. Alex Neal, where? No, wait. Oh, Adam is asking, what do you think about ego death? Is it attainable? I think ego death is attainable when you die. I don't think anyone that claims to have experienced ego death is telling the truth. Or they might think they are, but they're not correct. I think you can kind of... I think you can sort of like obliterate yourself with meditation, certain types of meditation and psychedelics. You can just like go hardcore and fucking blow your brains out basically with drugs and Kundalini meditation until you fucking shoot off into the stratosphere. But that's sort of like taking it, that's sort of like escaping, getting away from yourself. It's basically like experiencing death, you know, in some way. And it's not really like it's sort of like escapism rather than a true... Although the people I've talked to who have claimed to have experienced ego death are some of the most like sociopathic people I've ever met. So I don't believe it. I think it's something maybe you could like I think you could like sort of low-key be pursuing like the idea of taming your ego or whatever or something like, but I think as long as you live on this earth in the material world, you'll have some... It's impossible to escape it. And on some level, like the ego also isn't like a terrible thing either. I don't think the ego is like something that should be like looked at with shame. I don't think it's a black and white kind of like situation. So ego death. I mean, people talk about jujitsu is like experiencing ego death when you get submitted and stuff like that, and that's like just a bunch of shit a bunch of fucking ex-cops say. You know? Do I ever experience precognition? Precognition. Maybe. Maybe. I can't remember. I can't think of anything offhand where I've had like precog. But I feel like I have, but I can't think of any. I've definitely had a deja vu. I had crazy deja vu a few days ago. While I was drawing. I forget what I was drawing that gave it to me. I think it might have been this freelance gig I've been working on. think you're born without. Maybe you're born without an ego. I don't know. You know, I don't know what it's like. I don't have the memory of being born. Uh, Babies maybe develop an ego over time, but I don't know. I don't know what happens before birth. I don't know what the situation there is when perhaps the soul merges with the body or descends into the body from somewhere or is like absorbed from the ether or something. So I don't know what that how that mechanic works. uh, yeah, the ego serves all sorts of functions. It's not just like a vile thing. Hey, thanks for the follows. All right. Let's see. Guy sort of like emerges. All right. Oh, let me save my work. All right. So we've got a collection of shots here. And then I might show this guy in his like native habitat. So we'll like merge into another scene with the same guy in it, but he'll be he'll be in his. We'll see him in his native land. Oops. Let's see here. I'm gonna make a note to myself to meet 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Wednesday, 1 p.m. Oh shit! I've got an eye thing. Oh fuck! I have an eye appointment at 1 on Wednesday. Can we do Thursday? Scry guy. Mm. Second, guys. Sorry, 1 second. Did I like Zardoz? Yes, I did. Zardoz is a great film. Venus is Evil, yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm looking something up real quick. I think I did it correctly. Okay. Sorry. Right. Okay. I had to figure out some technical stuff here. Okay. Okie dokie, I'm back in. Back in. Okay. Alright, so we've got this guy. Let's draw the rest of his body. In his realm, let's see, let's make this go crazier. Doesn't look right. Or sort of. $3D. Some sort of. I'll figure it out. Oh, that's not it. Okay. Let's try. I want it to be like. Let's do this. Oops. Like, it goes around in a circle. Well, something like that. Look how, you know, some flower petal kind of thing. And it's not even on screen. um, Past episodes, you mentioned you have weird opinions on tangents, but you didn't get into them because you were about to hit the hay. Can you talk about them now? Jesse, are you using a symmetry tool or just freehanding this? I'm just freehanding it. How do I feel about tangents? I feel like... Yeah, I can talk about tangents. Tangents is like a design rule that someone, you know, there's a functionality to it. Like, there's a reason why the rule exists. Like, for example, say if I draw a a dresser, right? Let's see if I can make this make sense. And then, okay, here's the corner of the wall. And then let's say, here's the edge of the wall. And then let's say I draw a door, right? But I have the door on the same sorry, this guy's sort of in the way, but I'm moving over here. If I have the door at the same intersecting with the edge of the dresser, then it creates a weird sort of perspective illusion. Where you start to think like, oh, is the door like attached? You know what I mean? Like it creates like a weird perspective problem. Whereas if you put the door hey. Come here, buddy. Come here, I can't grab you. Yeah, if I put the door over here, and actually not intersecting with the corner of the dresser also. Right. So like here, all of a sudden now we have like a clear, you know, like more like utilitarian sort of like, but even this is kind of weird, right? So it's like, I don't know, maybe like move them over here. You know, something like that. Anyway, and then I would move this down. So in like practical terms, I get why avoiding tangents avoids the flatness, right? But sometimes tangents can create power. And intrigue. So let's say, I don't know, fuck, it's a thing that happens like by accident in my drawing sometimes. Like if I'm drawing this and I've got a guy like walking into this let's say he's walking into this like pyramid hole, you know, and he's like tangenting with the side of the pyramid there, the pyramid hole, like it creates like a confusion that can be interesting. Does that make sense? All of a sudden this has gone from being like just like a regular thing that's like depicting a scene here. Okay, that's cool. This guy's going into this doorway here. Sweet, cool, you know. But then now it's like, what the fuck is going on here? You know? So that's why I'm not against tangents all the time. Sometimes a tangent can be, yeah, create mystery, intrigue, power, all the things I'm looking for in art. But sometimes it just like isn't functionally what you want to do, like isn't communicating the thing, you know? So you kind of have to be like, when I was working on Midnight Gospel, it became a funny ongoing joke with me and Antonio. He's like the head of the creative. He's like the creative director of Titmouse, and he was trying to like accommodate my opinions, you know. And there would be times where we were looking at things and he would be pointing out, hey, there's a tangent there in this background. And I remember saying, I don't give a fuck about tangents or something like that, you know? And I just said that as like, I don't know, sometimes I say shit that's like, you know, provocative or whatever. And I didn't really mean that. I didn't really mean it like 100%. I don't mean anything 100%. But I'm also like, hey, let's keep an open mind. Like, there's no design rule we have to follow exactly. There's no rule we can't break. And there's no, you know, the only thing that matters to me is, does it look good? That's it. That's the only thing that matters to me. Does it look cool? Is it inspiring my? Is it like firing my my neurons or whatever, getting me inspired and excited? Did I work with Lucas Anderson on Midnight Gospel? I can't remember. I know Lucas Anderson. What was he doing what did he do on Midnight Gospel? I can't remember. I've talked to Lucas Anderson quite a bit over the past couple of years, but I can't remember what he did on Midnight Gospel. Was he animating? Or did he storyboard on it? I can't remember. Let me look at it. Oh, he was animating. You know, the animators kind of kept to themselves. They were all in this like separate room, like a couple separate rooms, a gang of them. And I didn't want to step on their toes because they had a director who sort of oversaw them mostly and probably didn't appreciate me looking over their shoulders and being like, oh, could you do that different? You know, or whatever. So I didn't bother the animators too much, just bothering the background designers. But there were a couple animators I would talk to here and there. He wasn't on my radar back then, but he's become on my radar in the past 2 years. We've corresponded quite a bit. I think he's a really cool dude. And a cool animator. I was hoping to work with him maybe on some Jesus Tube stuff. Yeah. Maybe on the shorts I'm working on, I might get Luke to help me out, possibly if I have a budget for it. But he's been making little shorts on his own on YouTube and stuff. I haven't seen him post in a while, but follow him on YouTube. Him and Alvin, what's his name? Alvin Buenaventura, is that his last name? What's Greeny and Blue? Alvin Faye. F-A-I? Is that what it is? Yeah, they're like a super duo, those two. I'm thinking of Buenaventura Press, aren't I? Yeah, Alvin. Did Alvin move somewhere? No, Lucas moved. He moved to like Montana or something. Uh, let's see. Earth Zone, 1987. Let's check this out. What are my comedy influences? Probably Chris Farley. Just Chris Farley. Chris Farley. Martin Short. Old SCTV. All the Zucker Brothers movies. Like Naked Gun and Airplane. I love Tim Robinson. Who else? Just all the, I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, all those comedies, like really, Step Brothers, fucking Dude, Where's My Car? All that stuff. Yeah, screwball humor. Sort of like hasn't been the same for the past 15 years or so. Yeah, I loved MST3K. Kids in the Hall, Mr. Show, Tim and Eric, Monty Python, all the BBC comedies like IT Crowd, Blackadder, Faulty Towers, Mighty Boosh. Yeah. And like old, a lot of like random, you cherry pick the SNL skits that are good. Whitest Kids You Know, I didn't really know about. I mean, I knew of them, but I didn't watch any of them until they started posting clips on YouTube like last year. So I've been catching up on Whitest Kids You Know. Yeah, Blackadder. I loved Blackadder growing up. I loved what do you call it? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Old Mel Brooks stuff, Young Frankenstein, The Producers. Spaceballs. Spaceballs is still great. Is Red Dwarf good? That's a question. That's a good question. I've watched a fair amount of Red Dwarf, and I'll say Red Dwarf has cool ideas, but Red Dwarf is not good. Red Dwarf is like, Red Dwarf is like, C plus, but with like A minus concepts. And then The Young Ones, that was a big one for me. The Young Ones. Yeah, one of the best shows of all time. So I think that covers it pretty much. All the early like what's his name comedies, anything with like Will Ferrell in it in the like early 2000s. Uh, yeah, Young Ones changed my life when I was a kid, for sure. All right, so okay, so we got this guy, and just keep. Let's see here. Try to make some sort of semblance of a landscape. It's not really a landscape, is it? It's more just like an energy coming off so let's do landscape. Just fucking mountains or something? I don't know. Fuck. Peep Show. I've only seen the first episode of Peep Show. I never really tried watching it. I heard it's good though. It's Always Sunny. I love watching It's Always Sunny on the plane. If they have episodes on the plane and I'm on a long plane ride, I'll watch a bunch of episodes of It's Always Sunny. Hold on, I got pee. I'll be right back. Take it easy, Glute. Or Blake. Gotta grab some blueberries. Fridge. The fridge is kind of smelly. I gotta figure out what's going on in there. I gotta clean out my fridge, I guess. It's Always Sunny definitely has some of the funniest, episodes of a sitcom I've ever seen, for sure. Maybe if I draw this on the background. Hmm. All right, take it easy, Ochen. Have a good night. Sort of like bunch of maybe a bunch of Towers of Babel kind of looking things. I've been in the habit of drawing these like modular bubble sort of buildings, but I can't get in the habit of just doing that every time as my default, thing that I draw. Even though they're fun to draw. I was thinking about doing a series of like large paintings in that style, but I don't know if I'll get around to it. Got too many other things going on. Maybe there are these things, upside down thing structures as well. Have I seen Bottom, the Brit show? No, I haven't seen it. I don't know. I don't know what that is. All right, something like that. Spiked waveform like ground, something. Waveforms. All right, that's something. Semblance of something. It sort of flattens the scene out a little bit, but. Maybe if I made sort of. You just sent a Netflix producer a photo of your dog Stella for a chance for her to be on Netflix. What show would it be on? Okay. So then we're gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna move all this stuff to the background as well. Anything that's not the arms and the head. Okay, that was a mistake. Can I unselect stuff? Hmm?
Hold on, what?
Hey, thanks for the subscription, Ninetales. All right, let's try that again. Appreciate it. So let's go here, here, here. Here, here, here. Okay, that's what I want to do. Copy. Delete. Paste. Okay, now I just have to worry about that shit. You're brave, north of north. Okay, you're briefly in the background. Oh yeah, I remember you saying you were in the background of some episodes. Bottom is the show Rick Mayall and Aid Edmondson did after Young Ones. It's kind of like what would happen if Rick and Viv became 30 years old and had to get jobs. Oh, really? I love Rick Mayall. Bottom, Rick Mayall. Three seasons. Oh boy. It's on Prime Video. It's on Apple TV. Okay, cool. I'm gonna check it out. R.I.P. Rick Mayall. You know, I was looking at some VTubers, and man, their models are so much fancier than mine. I wonder if I can get a VTuber to make me a Jesus 2 VTuber 3D thing. That would like float around and follow my body language, I guess. I've got this like simple setup, you know. It makes me jealous. Jealous of the VTuber. Floaty animation. Alright. So then we'll go. Oops. Yeah, maybe a 3D one. Or like a 2D, 3D one, you know? Blue Sky Ninetail. Oh, okay. This is your picture of your dog. Nice. Yep. All these things. Like that. Okay. You made a few 3D ones in the past. Mind if you make a JT one for fun? Yeah, please. Let me know if you need like any sort of character guides or anything like that. That would be sick. It would be in your debt. Somehow. I could send you some sort of present in return or something. Can do a trade. Skill trade. Let's turn off this. Do I have a J2 ref in the Discord? Let me see. Let me see if I can post one in the Discord. This is like the J2 that this is right here is like a sort of like a simplified J2. I'll send you that version because I've got a turnaround of that actually, I think. Let's see, Jesus 2. Pilot materials. Characters. Yeah, character color. Let me save him as a PNG. Hold on 1 second. Well, I'll just can I post a PSD in Discord? I'll just send a screenshot. That's it. Oops. Cool. I posted it in the Discord. The only difference is now if you look at that picture, his bottom half isn't as wiggly. I don't think it matters actually. His if you look at the way I'm drawing him now as like my avatar, the bottom of his head is less like limp looking. It's more bulbous, I would say. And also I've started doing this like orange shadow on him instead of just the yellow underlight, but that's the only differences. So you can kind of reference that turnaround and then this avatar that I'm currently talking through. Nice. I'm excited, man. I'm glad I brought it up. Alright, so what's inside? It's gonna be his like brain or something. Oops. Doesn't look great. Um. Okay, cool. Yeah, you could just do a you can just do a bust. You don't have to do like a full body one. Unless you want to do if you did a full body one, that would give me a lot of I could start doing crazy shit, I guess, probably. Like Jesus 2 dance videos and stuff. So what does it work where it like it follows the motion of me on my video camera or something like that? Is that how that works? Like how does it know when what words I'm saying and shit? Alex Neal, the Ghost Shrimp podcast episodes you were on were a real eye opener for me. Brilliant, very revealing, bold stuff. Thanks, man. I don't remember what I said on there, but I'm sure I said a lot of shit. Ghost Shrimp is he's definitely a character, man. Good, right. Hey, Matthew. Okay. Maybe I'll do a second peel down. Just go peel all the way down. Oops. To down there. Hmm. Okay. And then we'll you can get an app on your phone or use a webcam. It tracks your face movements. Personally, I use my iPhone. It works fine. Okay, cool. And that works with OBS? I wonder if I need to position my webcam so it sees is looking directly at my face, because I'm always like sideways to my webcam. I used airbrush on the last volume of Forming. Was it easy to learn? I used airbrush starting around the end of volume 2, I think. Let me see for sure. Volume 2. No airbrush, no airbrush, no airbrush. No airbrush. Yeah, I didn't start using... Oh wait, this is volume 1. See, volume 2. Volume 2 I started using airbrush about around yeah, around about halfway through volume 2 I started using airbrush. I just watched a bunch of YouTube tutorials and I did a bunch of exercises. It's just really it's just like confidence. It's just about getting used to the tool and not being afraid to pull the trigger and commit to a spray stroke. It's really not that hard. The hardest part of using airbrush is the maintenance, just making sure it doesn't clog up. But you can basically learn the like strokes you need, airbrush strokes you need in like a day. You can figure it out, and then it's just confidence. It's really like it's a faith-based painting tool. You have to just believe you're gonna put down the right stroke. And it's not gonna fuck up on you and splatter everywhere. Okay. So here, and then this is gonna open up. Oops. This stuff is gonna pull apart a little bit. Stretch like this. Stretch across. Hello. But if you want recommendations. I have all Grex airbrush set up, GREX. I have a Grex compressor and with a moisture trap. You want to get a compressor with a moisture trap. If you don't get one with a moisture trap, you're going to start getting like moisture caught up in your airbrush, and it causes it to splurt the paint everywhere. The software you use for face tracking is called VC Face. On their website, it says it's compatible with OBS. Okay, cool. I'm going to write that down. VC Face. The VTuber face tracking. Nice. Cool. Ancient Textures, 1990. Mike Brooks, Mind Shadow, 1986. Let's check this out. Mike Brooks just straight up stole a picture from Star Wars for his album cover. Look at that. That's funny. And it's just like, I love it. I love Star Wars. All right. So let's go full portal. Yeah. He's like, you know, fuck it. Come get me. I think I want this to be like rounded off like this. Okay. And then we'll go. Mm, 5 seconds, maybe. Do zoom. Um, Zoom, big zoom. Right into the gullet. Yoink. All right. And then we'll make yeah, definitely get a moisture trap. I think you can have a moisture trap on your brush, but you're better off having it on your compressor. Okay. So then we'll make animation plus this cosmic entity. Maybe I won't try to fit the square peg into a round hole, you know? I'll just make it a fucking crazy looking. Robert Carradine just passed away. From is he from the guy from Revenge of the Nerds? That one? That Carradine? I know there's a couple Carradine brothers. Fuck. How old was he? I was just talking about him to my buddy Bradford the other day. He met Robert Carradine a long time ago. He can't be that old. He had a heart attack or something. Apparently it was self-inflicted wounds. Oh, fuck. Dude, so my buddy who met him said, I think he had dinner with him or something, and he said the dude was, like, super depressed. And the only time he, like, immediately cheered up after someone brought up Revenge of the Nerds, and then he like totally like brightened up and just loved talking about making Revenge of the Nerds. So that's really sad. It's weird that it was like a couple weeks ago that he was talking to me about that. It's crazy, man. Fuck. Should talk to Bradford about it. Because I was in Tucson. The reason why we were talking about Revenge of the Nerds was because I was in Tucson for a wedding. And that's where Revenge of the Nerds was shot. And so we went by the frat house, the Omega Mu frat house, and the Lambda 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 frat house. We did a little Revenge of the Nerds quick tour. Damn. Fuck, dude. That fucking sucks. That whole family is kind of cursed. I don't know how all those brothers were. I mean, was David Carradine... Was he David Carradine's brother, or was he his son? 71, he must have been a brother, right? Younger brother? So different in demeanor. Did they have like a famous dad or something? Is that what's going on? Because like, or mom or something? Because how did all those guys get into Hollywood and become like pretty successful? John Carradine, the very popular character actor from the 40s. Okay. Fuck, dude. There's David Carradine, Robert Carradine, and the other one, I forget, he was in like maybe some Robert Altman movies or something. Damn, Martha Plimpton, huh? Yeah, I grew up watching David Carradine on that TV show Kung Fu. That shit was mad inspiring for me. Even though it was like sort of a shitty show. But there was sort of like a hippie philosophy aspect to it that I was really into, combined with martial arts. All right. Say about maybe 10 seconds, 9 seconds. We'll start them off small. Then we animate them, quote unquote. Around here. Oh, so do keyframe it. Keyframe. Bring this all the way up here, maybe around here. Oops, too big. There. Oops. All right. Let's see how this feels. Way too slow. So let's go here, maybe 6 seconds. 5 seconds? 6 seconds. Right. So I'll reduce this to like 3 seconds. And then we'll reduce these all by down to like 10 frames. And then we'll start zooming in around here. Try again. And then we'll say 5 frames. Something like that. Way too slow, but this is now too fast. But I'll say 2 seconds here. And let's see. I'm gonna say that's 10 frames. And then this is 3. This will be 4, maybe. And then this should be 4 seconds. Or something. Okay, try again. Alright, it's getting there, getting better. Let's reduce this to 1 second. And then reduce this to 3 seconds. And maybe make this 6 frames. Alright, I mean, it's a rough, you know, there's a bunch of stuff that's not in there, but it's a rough idea. Okay. So basically, okay. This wouldn't happen until... So I'm going to split these 2 scenes. Actually, I'm going to duplicate this scene. Oops. Duplicate. And I'm going to put this over here. And then I'm going to delete this. So it'll be here, 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 here. This is going to transition from here to here, huh? Delete that frame. Copy this frame. Connect this to this frame. Okay, so then it'll go up, up. So here, here, crystal ball, atmosphere, the world disappears. He's shocked. Demon appears. Transition to the demon world. There. So then I think I need to put in maybe I'll scratch his butt or something. Something personal. So I'll add in little specific details so that it feels a little bit more connected to the character. But this ends up being about, if all the timing is right, this ends up being under 20 seconds, which is good. Here, 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 that. So that would be faster. Like more like that. Yeah, even faster. Okay. Cool, guys. Well, I've been streaming for 4 hours, so he had a terrible battle with bipolar disorder. Oh. Killboy guy was his brother. Yeah. Kung Fu guy died from autoerotic asphyxiation, but they say it really was the Chinese mob. I haven't heard that theory. I did hear about the autoerotic asphyxiation, though. The Chinese mob, they've taken out a couple legends. Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee, possibly David Carradine. Originally, Bruce Lee was supposed to play a character in Kung Fu. Well, alright, y'all. Thanks for hanging out and helping me get started on this storyboard. I guess tomorrow I got called in to work some more on this secret freelance gig, so I'll be doing that for the next 3 days, but I'll see you next time on a stream, alright? Or else on the Discord, feel free to jump in. And if you become a trusted member of the Discord, you can call in while I'm streaming if you want to talk anything, art, or whatever's going on in your life or whatever. Anyhow, see you next time. Bye!